Greetings! Welcome, welcome. I am back with a little bit of a shorter stream today. We're going to be going over some plans for the channel. Doing a little bit of fix it up. But yeah, I finally finished finalizing all the plans and everything for the direction that I want to go on the channel. And I want to show you guys what I've been doing, what I've been working on, and how I plan to implement that over the course of pretty much the rest of this month, and then going forward to see what to see what the rest of the year is going to look like. There's going to be more fix it streams going through to the end of April. And then at the start of May, we're going to be back on our full game rotation. And it's going to take a little bit of a new form with some things. And then very much the way that I have always been doing it with some other things. I'm aiming to increase the number of streams that I have a week. Currently, on the best weeks, I'm doing 4 days. A lot of times that's not happening with the Thursday and Friday streams because I get busy with one thing or another and I'm not able to make it all the way back to the computer. Such as yesterday, when I was out and about doing things. So there are going to be some times when the streams are rescheduled, but I'm going to try to make that a lot less often going forward. There's going to be a lot bigger push for activity and consistency across the channel when it comes to streaming. Yeah. So I got my old to-do list here. We're gonna go over these things here. And for streaming layouts, some of these are gonna be like underneath that, right? Oh, nope, that's a new thing. Okay. So when I'm talking about layouts for streaming, this is the next thing on the channel repair chopping block, as it was finishing the layout. I will talk about these decks here in a moment. But I did get, not this one. Yeah. This right here is the info for pulling when I am collaborating with others. You can have up to 5 participants, so it builds an array when a collaboration starts, or a stream together, as Twitch calls it, starts. And it populates that array. So what I need to build into this button here is a check to check and see if stream together is active. And then a count. So we will go ahead and mark that here. Together button. I need to check if the stream together is active, and then I need to count the participants. If I can spell. Way. Okay, so that's the things I need to do for the stream together button. I need to check if stream together is active. If it is active, I need to count the number of people who are participating in it, and then display the active participants minus myself. Because I think I'm always going to be active participant number 0. As you can see, I'm not pulling 0 here, but I need to make sure of that. And then this is how I display the information, and I've got to add that to OBS. OBS modes. I need to add mode 4. Add mode 5. And add, I want a subset mode for the bottom part, right? So when we're looking at OBS, this part right here, where it says software and game development, I want to kind of slice this, like right there. And then have it where things can change on the bottom. So I want like 2 or 3 modes down there. So we'll just do this. So I need to create and animate the videos for these modes and set them up correctly. And I think how I'm going to do it at the bottom is have a section that just moves down and then shutters that move in from the left and right. I don't know. I'm still thinking about it. There may only be 2 subset modes. And then one thing that I think would be really cool if I can get it implemented is dynamic changing of the layout. Maybe using a stinger to do it. So if I need to change from, say, a 16:9 layout to a 4:3 layout, in the same way that the bar at top is like sliding up and down, I can like pull the pieces of the frame apart and then put the new pieces in. So like have everything on the frame fade out, and then have the frame disassemble itself and then reassemble itself in the new layout. I think that sounds cool. And I think I'm going to look into how they do that on the Games Done Quick streams. Because the stingers they have for switching between scenes there shrink or grow like the little component panels to whatever they need to be for the next stream. I think that looks really cool. I think they are using JSON and Node.js to do that. I have no idea how they are implementing it. I have an idea of how they've implemented it in the past with like an Electron window and Node.js. And it seems like they're using a more sophisticated version of that these days. But Node.js and JSON can do some crazy things these days. So I need to dive into that. And so I'm gonna put here one more thing. Dynamic scene change stinger. So these are things that I'm looking to add to OBS. Now, social media. You can see above my head right here, I have a bunch of different types of social media going on. And I'm going to be creating / updating the artwork across the social media. That's for Twitch. Twitch first. YouTube second. Blue Sky third. Twitter or X fourth. I'm still debating on TikTok. Patreon, we are going forward with Patreon. We're going forward with Coffee. We're going forward with Throne. And TikTok would be short form content, which is also going to be live on YouTube. So basically every place that you can have a presence on the internet, I need to have some sort of presence on the internet. But I want to try and automate that as much as I can. Because I'm not going to be active on all of these places. Throne, Ko-fi, and Patreon are very not places we can be super active on. Like my content is going to be created for Twitch, YouTube, and Blue Sky. That's where content is going to be created for. Blue Sky content is going to be copied to Twitter. YouTube content is going to be copied to Patreon and Ko-fi. Throne isn't a content creation platform, so it's just going to exist as its own thing. YouTube content in the form of shorts is going to be copied to TikTok and Instagram. And then updates, like all of the content that is going to be copied to Facebook. So a lot of these are just going to be mirroring the content that is coming out on the main platforms that I interact with, which is Twitch, YouTube, and Blue Sky. So the other ones are going to be there. But the only time that I use Twitter these days is to yell at the YouTube support team when they stop answering my emails. That's basically all I use Twitter for. It's not really useful for anything else. I know a lot of people swear up and down by Twitter, and it used to be, even as few as just 3 years ago, it used to be a nice tool for content creators to grow their platform. It's not that anymore. It is, I mean, it's been a horrible cesspool for a while, but it's so much worse these days, especially with all of the things about people's with the checkmark fiasco. It used to mean something if you were verified on Twitter, but then they started pulling people's verifications off, and putting everything behind a paywall. So now a lot of the people who had verifications don't have them anymore because they didn't want to do the paid feature. And there's two types of paid verifications now, for the blue check mark or the gold check mark if you want to pay Elon a lot of money. And they're this is turning into a Twitter bashing session. They're locking features of Twitter behind that paywall, like being able to use the full amount or the number of tweets that you can make in a day if you're not paying for Twitter, which isn't very many. One of the reasons I moved off of the Twitter the Twitter platform. I say moved off. I'm still there. I just don't actively do any interacting on Twitter. So, I do want to create new artwork though, to have my artwork uniform across all of the platforms, because I have some platforms that are using my chibi artwork, which I like. I think I'm going to move forward with the chibi style in the artwork, which is the style for my emotes. And then other artwork is using like my model, like this VTuber model. And some things are even using my old YouTube icon model. Which I can probably show you guys if I pull up the streaming asset. Yeah. This is my old YouTube logo that I've been using for pretty much 10 years. It's a heavily modified version of Ukiyo Tachibana from Samurai Showdown. Yeah. I colored the... First, I got a really high-res image of him. This is much higher res than what's actually shown in the game. I colored the gi to be the color that I wanted. I added in this green background here and then the rainbow circle around him. Basically the changes that I made to that over the years. But if you look at some of my artwork is using like this new design here, which I've had a lovely artist named Haka make. And then some of it is using this with my model. So I want to replace this artwork with new artwork that I'm doing that has my chibi character, like this character here. So when I'm saying creating and updating the artwork, some of these things don't have any artwork created for them. Some of them is old style artwork and some of it is new style. I want to make all of it new style artwork. And then I need to create welcome videos for Twitch and YouTube and Patreon. What else uses these kind of videos? I think Coffee does. I think that's it. I think that's the only platforms that I need to create little welcome videos for. Okay. Put this down here for right now. Now, I want to put a game on the waiting screen so that when I take the waiting screen, break screen, so that you guys can interact with the stream even when I'm not here, because sometimes I need to go out and take breaks and whatnot. When that happens, I'd like there to be like an interactive way to play with the stream. And I've seen a fishing game where you can type in chat and you can like fish. That seems fun. And then there's like a word game that's kind of like Scrabble. You get like a bunch of letters and you see how many different words that you can make. And I think implementing those on the break screen would be a fun thing to do. Yes. So I'm going to see about doing that. And I need to redesign my loading screens. Oh yeah, so okay. So we're gonna get a redesign on the start, break, and ending screens, and then the game on the break screen. And then I want to start making it where I take breaks pretty much every hour, and when I set a break, breaks are going to be at least 3 minutes. And every time I go on break, I'm going to trigger an ad when I go on break. And as long as I'm taking a break at least once an hour, there should never be ads triggered in the middle of the stream. So I'm going to be pushing breaks every hour in order to avoid ads triggering in the middle of the stream as much as I can. So I'm going to be setting that up, and I'm going to be putting that on my Stream Deck, which I'm using a lot more, just a lot more. I'm still coming up with a layout for the Stream Deck. So I need to finalize that layout. Okay, now let's see what I've done here. The videos for socials, I've added that up there. Set up social media accounts, I've added that up there. Updating the stinger, bam, I got that up there. Okay. So these are two things that I'm doing very much off camera. And this is what I've been doing a lot this past week. I can probably take you guys in and show you. So I have backups of a lot of games for a lot of different systems. And I've been going through and pulling these and sorting them out. Just take like Super Nintendo, for example. I'm sorting the games out, naming them, and putting like the region that I got them from, which is hard in the case of some like ROM hacks and whatnot. But I've been sorting through everything that I have that I've been emulating, installing on Battle.net, and putting everything on this drive here. And as you can see, I've already filled up like almost 5 terabytes of data, and a good half of that is my archive. And I'm pulling a lot of that archive from here because I have everything, pretty much everything archived, going all the way back to when I started this archive in the late 90s. I started archiving like everything that I was doing, code and websites and stuff, from the 90s all the way up till now. And I have all of that stuff just sitting in that archive. It's not optimized. And I'm pulling my game stuff out and putting it over here. But there's still so much stuff. Like, of the, what, I guess 7 terabytes of data taken up right there, almost half of that is that archive. And I am in the process of going through there. I've got duplicate data in there, all kinds of things. So I'm in the process of moving that out and deleting that. And a lot of it is games and stuff, and games that don't exist anymore. I've got archived back up in there. So I've been taking the time this past week to sort out that archive and create the backlog, which I demoed on a previous stream, like 2 streams ago. And the backlog is going to be a way for you guys to check the gaming content on the channel, the games that I streamed and finished, the games that are upcoming, and all of the games that I currently have access to that I can just boot up and start streaming in like immediately. Just like, oh, boop, start the stream, start the game, bam, good to go. So the backlog is going to help set up all of that. And once I get the backlog set up, I can step into some of the new content that is going to be coming on the channel. So got that. And 4 quickie things down there. We'll take this and add it here. Like that. We will save this so that I don't lose it if Notepad crashes, which Notepad has been crashing, which is a program I never thought would ever actually crash. Okay, to this list we're going to add these 3 things, which is breaking up the Photoshop into smaller documents, breaking Premiere into smaller projects, and setting up Discord properly, which are 3 major things. Setting up Discord properly is going to involve a couple of different things, and it's going to get back into what I'm doing with these, which I will explain momentarily. But things I need to do for Discord is finish the onboarding process. And I don't like it when you have to answer like 200 questions to get into Discord. Because I think everybody's joined the Discord where they put you through like a 40-minute questionnaire before they actually let you in. So my onboarding process is basically going to be, hey, these are the rules, agree to the rules, and bam, you're in. And then there'll be a special channel for picking roles. Okay. If we take a look at the Nariverse right here, you may notice that there are hidden channels that not everybody can see. We got moderation channels here, we have a rules channel, we have the update board channels, and then we have the main hall and the voice stuff down here at the bottom. I like how most of this is set up. I'm going to add a section for movies, music, add music channel. I think that would be a nice addition because we have books and movies. We need music. Add a channel specifically for games. So books, movies, music, and games. Then we have memes, promotions, spoilers, if you want to talk spoilery about books, movies, music, or games. Museum, which just displays artwork, which I need to update. And then Elementalist, which is going to talk about the setup for both the channel and the Discord itself. I'm going to fix the Nari bot and the experience program. Because it keeps popping up, hey, you leveled up, but the system is not supposed to be implemented, so I need to fix Naribot and get that program working. And I'm going to install Nova into the Discord. Now, what are these things? Arya, Nova, Lyra, and Ami, and then Gaia and Sage. These are AIs. So I've been working a lot with AIs recently, particularly ChatGPT and OpenAI, which is what a lot of ChatGPT is based off of. Yeah, and so I want to implement that into the stream. Now, all of these are not going to be implemented into the stream, but Nova is. And these are, because I am that science fiction nerd guy, these are acronyms. Arya is kind of, like, I've already been using Arya and Ami as custom versions of ChatGPT that I modified, because ChatGPT will let you take the AI and build a custom shell around it so that it does particular tasks and acts in a particular way. You can build a personality for it and a bunch of really cool stuff to customize how the AI works. And I've already been using Arya and Ami as custom AIs in ChatGPT. Ami is a test environment. Stands for Artificial Mind Interface. And Sage is System for Autonomous Guidance and Environment, right? So this is a test environment for me to figure out how the AI works, how you can implement a large language model AI to do things like be an assistant, or to control other AIs, how to control things remotely. Figuring out how everything works, this is what the Ami Sage environment is for. This is a testing environment. Arya, which stands for Autonomous Reactive Intelligent Assistant, is basically my personal assistant. After I tested everything out with Ami, I built Arya around Ami's specifications to be a personal assistant that I can interact with on my computer audibly. So think of it kind of like in Star Trek, the Enterprise computer, when you can say, computer, what is this? Computer, can you find me this? Or computer, dim the lights, right? Arya can do that. I say she, because it has a female voice. That was the default one that came up. I haven't figured out how to change the voice yet. I have an idea that I can link in a TTS program that has a bunch of different voices, and then really be able to customize a lot of them. But right now the 4 are ladies because they are using the default voice, and I can't change it. Yeah, I can't change it yet. I think I need to link in a TTS, and I think 11 voice can do what I'm looking to do. So I'm going to be looking into that. But Arya is very much a personal assistant. Lyra here is linguistic yielder for roleplay and arc building, and Gaia, the global AI for infrastructure and awareness. This is for my novel that I'm writing. I figured out early on when I was interacting with AIs that building an AI to be an encyclopedia of knowledge about my world is a really cool way to do it. That way I can just ask this AI, hey, when I was making this part of the elemental system, how does this exactly work again? So I don't have to look it up. I can use an AI connected to a database of my world to look it up for me and display the relative information. So that's what this environment is. And I'm going to do an experiment here because I'm experimenting here with character AIs. So you can write different personalities and like histories for a particular AI, and then have that AI role play that character via the personality and history that you wrote for it. I am curious to see if I can write an AI version of some of the characters in my novels and get them to role play as the characters would, so that I can interview them. With like drawing the information for the character out of the database. I have no idea if that's going to work, but it's an interesting idea. So Lyra is primarily an encyclopedia of data for my novel, and the possibility of me making custom AI version characters to interview and talk to is intriguing. I have no idea if it's going to work. It's probably not going to work. But I'm looking into that, and it might be interesting as the technology behind AI grows. I'm hoping at some point one of these companies is going to give us the ability to take their framework and train it on our own data, because that would be really cool if I could train an AI on like my own novel and world and characters. Yeah. And then there's Nova, Neural Operations and Vocal Assistant. This is where you guys come in. Because ChatGPT can interact with Sammy, and it can interact with Twitch, and it can interact with OBS. And if you want to see how powerful some of these interactions can be between a large language model AI and a Twitch stream, all you have to do is pop over to Vettel Stream and check out Neurosama. Because Neurosama is a large language model AI that's interacting with Twitch chat. So my idea is to build a similar thing that can appear on stream with me. Not as another character, but if you've ever played Halo, about halfway through the game, you come across something called the Guilty Spark, which is a little floating orb with an AI on it, or like Wheatley from Portal 2. I'm gonna create a little character like that, call it Nova, and have it be interactable, both from me and from chat. Because ChatGPT can do both of these things. It is capable of reading chat and interacting with messages on chat that reference the name that I gave for it, which in this case is Nova. It's during the streams, it's going to be listening to what I'm saying. So if I say something involving Nova, it can listen and respond to that. I don't know of a way to have LLM, large language model AI, review a stream. You can have them look at pictures and they can identify things in pictures like locations and whatnot. But as far as having them like watch a live stream, I don't think that technology exists yet. I have an idea for how it might be implemented, and then I have a practical way to implement it. And the practical way, and the way that I'm going to train the Nova AI on my channel, is I can take my past live streams, since I have all of them archived. I can convert. There's a program that will allow me to take these stream and convert it into a text file, so that everything that happened on stream, from the audio file, is laid out in text, and that can be parsed by the AI. For newer streams, I can also pull the chat logs for those, and for all the streams going forward, and let that get parsed by the AI as well. And I think for a lot of the older streams, I might also be able to pull the chat logs because they display on screen during the stream. So I'm going to be training up this Nova AI on my past live streams. And yeah, just basically using it as like an on-stream AI assistant. I think it'd be fun. Have a little AI buddy on the stream that both me and chat can ask questions to, and that I can turn on and off just by clicking the little button here. Boop, disabled, turned off. So if it starts getting broken, I'd be like, oh, okay, you need to stop talking now. So that's what these are right here. So when it comes to the stream, installing Nova. Nova is not only going to be present in the stream, but it's going to be present in the Discord as well. So you'll be able to see Nova in the Discord and interact with them in the Discord, even while the stream is not active. And I'm building... Each one of these environments is going to have its own like database. ChatGPT doesn't do a very good job of like storing a lot of information on it, and it's used by like millions of people. So it can't store a lot of your degree of difficulty. I'm pretty sure this song is supposed to be called Degree of Difficulty. Okay, I need to fix. Okay, so I need to fix the degree of difficulty song from Goemon's Great Adventure. What was I saying? Oh yeah, there isn't a way to store a lot of data inside the AI in the interface that it has. So I'm going to be writing my own data storage methods for these AI in a custom secured database that I control, that they are going to interact with. You can write custom memory for ChatGPT, but ChatGPT can't natively interact with it. But you can use the OpenAI API to connect directly to a custom ChatGPT AI that you built, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to be using Node JS and maybe Python, maybe Python. I haven't decided what language I'm going to use to connect my AI to its memory bank. But I have these kind of set up like in a hierarchy. Oh, the ads are on. With Aria being a personal assistant, it's going to kind of control the other three. Nova is only interacting with streaming stuff, OBS and Discord. Lyra is taking care of my world, and Amy is the testing environment. And then underneath it, Gaia and Sage are specialty AIs that take care of the world and the lore inside it. So since I am experimenting with character AIs in here, I need another AI engine that is taking care of the world and lore, that the characters can then reference that AI to get like memories about the world, right? So if I say, okay, this is a history of what's happened in the past month, instead of having to store that information with the characters can then look at the world and say, oh yeah, I remember when that happened, because it's written right here in the world document. That way, for changing events and things in the world, I only have to edit something once, and all the characters know about that happening as if it always happened. And like that is a system that I'm going to be using here, because if I'm able to build an AI around one of my characters that acts like my character, it needs to know everything that's happened in the world as well as its own personal history. So that's what Gaia is going to do here, and then Sage is the prototype of Gaia, doing the same thing except over here in the testing environment. And then these three can be controlled by the assistant, which interacts with me directly. So if I need like the AIs turned off, I can tell Aria, hey, turn off the other AIs. They're using up too much bandwidth. They're burning all my tokens, and I need my tokens. I have to buy those. So I can have this one like shut off the other AI. And since large language models AIs can only be interacted with natively by sending them information and then having them reply, I have to have an outside program basically ping the AI to get the AI to reply and do something. That's where Sammy comes in. The same way that Sammy is monitoring OBS and changing the things up top when the music starts, when the music stops, switching the songs and whatnot, I realized it can do the same thing for the AI engines that I'm aiming to write. Because I'm just now starting to build these. And I can use Sammy as kind of the brain that triggers the AI to do something. Yeah. So that's one of the new purposes of Sammy. It's a very powerful program that's going to become more than just a Twitch helper for me. I can use this program to do a bunch of cool stuff. Okay. Now, new models for my avatar. Go ahead and make this. Now, I have a lot of ideas for new models that I'm going to implement. And this is going to be one of the last things that I implement on the channel, but I can go ahead and break it down right here. In my novel, I have a bunch of different elements, and I want a model to represent each of the elements that's going to be brought out in the novel. And because I want to incorporate this into the live stream, yeah, I want the models to kind of reflect that, and to give you guys the ability to change one of the models on the fly. This is going to be my base model, but then I'm going to have a flame model, and its color scheme is going to be red. I'm going to have a frost model. Its color scheme is going to be blue. I'm going to have a gravity model. Color scheme of orange. I'm going to have a stone/earth model. Color scheme of yellow. I have a wave model. Color scheme of aqua. Going to have a wind model with a color scheme of green. Shock model, color scheme of purple. Light model with a color scheme of white. Shadow model with a color scheme of black. Okay, and these are the elemental models right there. So I'm gonna have the base model, those elemental models, and I figured out how to pull my Catboy model from FF14. So these are the new models that are going to be implemented over the coming months, and I'm gonna have the creation of me like making. It's basically an outfit change for my base model, except for this one, which is going to be a special change of itself. And I'm gonna make these triggerable from channel rewards points. I've already got a bunch of spots set aside for these particular redeems. And I'm gonna put outfits right here. So I have ideas for how all of these are going to work out based on characters in my story, because I already know I already have ideas for the model based off of characters in my story who represent like this these models. So I already know that Nuri, that my flame model is going to be based off of Nuri. The frost model is going to be based off of Neva. Gravity is going to be based off of Liliana. This one is based off of Wade. This one's based off of Linda. This one's based off of Vinder. This is based off of Sierra. It's based off of Alex. That one's based off of Edgy. Okay, so I've basically already figured out all the character designs on all of these because I know the character designs of all of these characters. And I'm just going to be pulling the designs I made for that character and dropping it on top of my model. So basically all I need to change from my base model is I need to update the base model to make it interchangeable with the other models. So that'll be the first thing that I do. Once I get it fixed, these will be a matter of basically changing the hair color, the eye color, and the outfit for each of these. And that will get the look of the new outfit. And then later I can work on like effects and things because I want to try to figure out a way to add effects. I have no idea how I'm going to implement that yet, but I'm going to be working on it. Okay. Now, covered that, and I've covered this. Okay. Implementing a quest system. This is something that I've been thinking about for a long time. Like, how can I implement the games and stuff that I'm playing on the channel in a fun way? Let me turn this off. And so I have an idea that I've been playing around with for a while of having 2 days. So let's say so I have 7 days. So that is 7 versions of a quest that I could have active. What's a quest, you say? Glad you asked. Since I like to play through not only like one game, but a series of games for my favorite series, I've decided, what if we just gathered up the series in a quest, and then we can vote what quests are active and what quests are inactive, what would be the main quest, what would be a side quest, and then have like specialty things happening at other points, like a seasonal quest when a holiday pops up, hey, seasonal quest active, here's a Halloween event, you know? I like the idea of going on quests for games, right? And I can get cheeky with the names. Like, I love the Final Fantasy series, so I listed off the Final Fantasy games right here. The name of the game, the version of the game that I'll be playing on stream, which is the Pixel Remaster versions of these games. And then you have like a main quest line with the adventure, with these being the adventure, and this is the version. And then after we finish one of the quests, it unlocks something for the community. And so have like a bunch of unlocks after everything like finishes. Like phase 1 is the original Final Fantasy, right? So we get an unlock for finishing Final Fantasy, and then you get an unlock for finishing phase 1. Then you go into phase 2, which is 2 through 6, the 2D like sprite Final Fantasy games. You get an unlock for each game finished, and then an unlock for finishing phase 2. And then there's like the Golden Era 7, 8, and 9, which are the PS1 Final Fantasies, an unlock for each one, and then an unlock for finishing phase 3. And then the full 3D ones, starting with the PS2 and going up to the PS5. And then there's a bunch of side quests that can unlock based on Final Fantasy games that were like not part of the main storyline, but tied to the main storyline, like the Final Fantasy X sequels or the 13 sequels. Yeah, like the Final Fantasy 2, 4, and 7 tie-in games. And then there are remakes, there are events, there's a bunch of standalone Final Fantasy titles that aren't really connected to much of anything else. They are their own thing. And all of that is bound up in something called the Final Quest. And so, as long as the chat votes the Final Quest as the active quest, or the main quest, it'll get the Friday slot. So every Friday, we're going to be doing 10 hours of what the main quest is. And the main quest is going to be what the chat votes as active. And I have a bunch of these like already sorted out, and we'll go over them in a moment. Some of these games have already been completed. Like I played Final Fantasy 7, 8, 9, 16 on the channel already. I've played the remakes of 7 and Rebirth on the channel already. So all of those games have already been completed on the channel. So I'm going to be discussing this a lot in Discord when I get this finished and put up, on whether or not we go ahead and check off the adventures in the quest that have already been completed, or if they should be completed again for the quest when the quest kicks off. So I got really cheeky with the first two titles for these quests, because the first one is Final Fantasy and the second one is Legend of Zelda. Because when it comes to games that are at the top of my list of my favorite games of all time, Final Fantasy and Zelda take the top 2 spots of that list. So I think it's cute to have the first quest called the Final Quest. That's fun. It's fun to me. It makes my brain space happy. Like, what's the first quest called? Oh, it's the Final Quest. But I thought it was the first one. Yes, but it's the final one too. I like that. And there is very famously a second quest in The Legend of Zelda. So if Zelda's going to be number 2, let's just call it the second quest, because it is the second quest and it's a reference to the second quest. All of my titles are going to be like this. All of them. So, that being said, Thursday and Friday streams are going to be dubbed the main quest and the side quest. And this, I think, is how I'm going to be going forward with like large series of games. But then I have another idea for the side quest as well. Because there are 2 streams on Mondays and Tuesdays. I could do it like this. And since the side quests are going to be shorter streams, earlier in the day before the multiplayer streams happen, we do the side quest streams. And that will allow this to be main quests on both of these days. And then Wednesday is going to be all. I use my off days primarily for doing mundane activities for fixing up the channel. Like renaming the music and sorting through the archive to build up the backlog and all that stuff. So what I am thinking about for the updated, what's the word? Schedule. It's going to look very similar to the same one, except on Thursday and Friday we're going to be switching from like behind the scenes repair stuff back into whatever quest is voted as the main quest, and then side quests currently are going to be here. The main quest is going to be voted in. Side quest is going to be the backlog of games. Now, the games that are currently on the backlog that have episodes on the channel that need to be completed. We've got Doom 2. Doom 2 from the holidays. Assassin's Creed Brotherhood. Crash Bandicoot. Donkey Kong Country from the holidays. Victoria Space Age. Dyson Sphere Program. And those two I'm going to set apart a little bit because they are a little special, a little more special than some of the others. Now I have some other games here that I started. that I'm going to put back in rotation. But I may not put these into rotation with these right here. They're going to go in the list, but I think they're going to slot into the quests. And we'll hit them when we get to the appropriate point in the quest. And then there's DLC for games that I've completed. But I haven't completed the DLC for. And that is Echoes of the Eye. And Tanta We Trust. I'm gonna regret that. So Echoes of the Eye is for the Outer Wilds. And I completed the main game, but I did not complete the DLC for it. And Tanta We Trust is for Spoken, where I completed the main game, but I fucking hated it. So I didn't even, and this was before the DLC came out. I beat it the week it came out, and it was bad. So I deleted it like immediately after I beat it. I watched the ending. I watched the credits. I talked about how bad the game was. When the credits were finished, I went back to the main screen and I deleted the game. Before the stream was even over, just, yep, this is what I'm doing with that. Deleted. And then they came out with DLC, which is probably just as horrible as the main game was. But I have it because I bought the deluxe edition that came with it, so it gave me the DLC. And if I have it, I should play it, right? Okay, and then we've got Echoes of the Fallen and the Rising Tide, which are both DLCs for Final Fantasy XVI, which is a game that I absolutely loved. So checking out those DLCs, I think would actually be pretty cool. So when it comes to side quests, I have all this backlogged stuff that needs to be finished. What else? I have other things that I can add to here. Dot. Hack. Infection needs to go on there. What else was I doing that got suspended? I don't remember. Let me check out the polls channel over here. Okay. So I think this is all. I will add the others on here if they're if there are indeed more that I forgot. So what I'm going to be doing with the side quests on Monday and Tuesday before the multiplayer days is I'm going to be finishing up these games and getting them like off of the waiting list. I'm deciding what I'm going to be doing with these games, which will probably be adding them into the quest. Because I was playing Diablo 4 because it was a new thing at the time, but it's not a new thing anymore. And if I really want to dive into Diablo, I want to go through the story of Diablo, which means starting with Diablo 1 and the Hellfire expansion. And then moving into Diablo 2, Lords of Destruction, Diablo 3. What is the Diablo 3 expansion called? Oh my gosh. Something Souls. Reaper of Souls. And then Diablo 4 and then the Vessel of Hatred expansions. So I can make an entire quest out of Diablo. Tears of the Kingdom is a Zelda game. Zelda is a quest. Right here, the second quest. So I'll just slot that into the second quest, and we will hit that when we get to it. Assassin's Creed Mirage. One of the quests that I have on here, as you can see, I have a quest here for the Metroid games. I've already completed most of those. A quest here for Super Mario Brothers games. One for Kingdom Hearts. One for Mass Effect, which has almost been completed. I don't know if Mass Effect 4 is even still in production. It was for a while, but I have Andromeda that I haven't played. The .hack quest line, of which I've stalled on Infection 3 times now. But then I have the Assassin's Quest, which is all about Assassin's Creed. So we can just take Mirage and slot it in here right before Shadows. And be good to go. I've completed most of the Mega Man games on here. I've completed the first 6. I've completed Mega Man X. I guess that's not most of the games. There are a lot of Mega Man games. This is one that I very recently implemented.
You okay?
Because they've recently added Arena and Daggerfall to Steam for free. So if you've never played the first 2 Elder Scrolls games, you can currently get them for free on Steam. And there is also a Unity version of Daggerfall, which I have on GOG. Yeah. I don't know when they're ever going to bring up the 6th Elder Scrolls game, but they teased it with a camera shot flying over mountains. It's a Elder Scrolls 6. Boom. Right? There's certainly more places to go. So yeah, and then there are 2 specialty games, Battlespire and Redguard, which I have also on Steam. So I have pretty much the entire Elder Scrolls collection. I've already been going through a bunch of the Quantic Dreams games. I played Heavy Rain, I played Detroit Become Human. Under the Waves is the new one that's currently in development. I've played Beyond Two Souls and Fahrenheit in the past, but not on the stream. I've watched somebody play through Omicron the Nomad Soul, and I have both the PS1 version and the PC version of that game on GOG. And I both played and watched somebody play through Until Dawn. Not technically a Quantic Dream game, but it's very much in the same vein. And it's got a remake now. I think I got Metal Gear. I've got the Warcraft games there, the Starcraft games. There are the Diablo games, the Halo games, the Halo series. Another wonderful series that's very close to my heart when it comes to gaming. Oh, Siri, I wondered why my model turned off. Siri turned on. Oh, Siri, go away. Stop turning on. I wish I could permanently disable that. I don't need that many AIs running around. But Halo, yeah, another series dear to my heart. The only game here, I've got the Master Chief Collection on my PC, which means I have every Halo game except for Halo 5, which is only available on the Xbox One. I don't know why Halo 5 isn't available on the PC, why it isn't on Game Pass, but it's not. It's only on the Xbox One. Now, I have an Xbox One in my closet. It's not hooked up. I do not currently have a copy of Halo 5. I'm gonna have to find one. But I've got Halo Infinite, and I've got Halo Wars and this stuff, because this stuff is on Game Pass, and Halo Infinite is on Game Pass. And I own the Master Chief Collection, which is all of this stuff. So yeah, I don't have Halo 5, and I have to get that. I've got multiple versions of every one of the Pokemon games, and the PokeQuest is actually one that's going to be coming up very soon, because after .hack Infection, when I was doing like an RPG day, the next RPG that was voted on by the community was Pokemon Blue. So, yeah, when I'm voting for which quest is going to be the main quest, the PokeQuest is going to be in the lineup, because that one was one of the ones that had already been voted in. So I'm going to have, like, I think 5 quests available to be voted in as the main quest. And how that's going to work is we're going to take the vote in the Discord channel as to what the main quest is going to be. You're going to have 5 options, and you're going to get to vote on which option you want to be the active quest. And I'm going to play through one of the games, the first game in the series in that quest. And then once that adventure is over, the poll is going to open up again, and you're going to be able to vote, hey, do you want to keep the same quest active, or do you want to swap it to another quest and play another game, right? And then if we swap to a new quest, I'll play through one game on that quest. We'll get the unlock. And then we'll open it back up, and you can swap what the main quest is. And yeah. So I've got a bunch of stuff. Like Doom. I've played Doom on the channel, the original Doom. I'm in the middle of Doom 2. But there are a lot of Doom games, and I put the Wolfenstein games and the Duke Nukem games on the same quest line with Doom, right? And just called it the BFQ. Because I like my names. And frankly, the Duke Nukem series and the Wolfenstein series are so closely related to Doom, especially once they went first person. First, in how they went first person, because all 3 of these series had like an old school first person shooter type game with like the gun coming out of the center of your chest type deal. Because the first 4 Doom games were like that. The first two of the Wolfenstein games, Wolfenstein 3D and I think Spear of Destiny, were both like that. And then the first Duke Nukem game, Duke Nukem 3D, was like that. These 2 Duke Nukem games are side scrollers. That's why they're phased off from the 3D ones. And I might phase Duke Nukem 3D off of the other games. Because apart from Duke Nukem forever. These are console games. That one's PlayStation. That one's N64. I think that one's PlayStation too. So yeah, I combined those together. And as you can see, we're getting into areas where I'm experimenting and I haven't quite finished everything yet. But I've got a lot of ideas for quests. A lot of ideas. So I like this. I think it's fun. I think it'll be a fun way to dive through content and stuff on the channel. And eventually we'll get to the idea of side quests. And that's what this stuff is down here. So after we complete like a main game, like once we complete the Final Fantasy like quests, some of these unlocks, like we complete Final Fantasy 2, the unlock for Final Fantasy 2 is going to be the Soul of Rebirth side quest, right? Because once we finish the main story of Final Fantasy, we can play through the main story of Soul of Rebirth. Once we finish Final Fantasy 4, you can play through the after years. Once you finish the original Final Fantasy, you can play through Crisis Core. I've already played Crisis Core, but you get the idea. I don't have tactics in this list, but I really should. Here's tactics. Did I not even add tactics? Did I skip over tactics entirely? Okay, well. War of the Lions is a Final Fantasy Tactics remake. So I was thinking of having War of the Lions being an unlock for tactics. Yeah, so and then we'll have side quests that can be voted on individually. I haven't figured out exactly how I'm going to implement that system because it's not going to be implemented immediately on the channel. Yeah, because we're gonna be doing catch up, and I'm going to be using Thursday and Friday. Right, the main quest stuff is not going to start until May, so I'm going to be using Thursday and Friday for the rest of April for like finishing up some of this stuff and doing more repairs and stuff on the channel, like this stream is today. Yeah, so that's basically where I'm aiming to go with the channel. Plus plans for the channel and to-do list. And so my goal for this year, for 2025, is to get all of this stuff finished and implemented for the channel. And a lot of this is going to be finished up very quickly because I'm very quickly moving through this technical checklist for setting things up. And things like creating the artwork, this isn't going to take very long. This is about a week's worth of work, setting up the other OBS modes. And like the stream together button. This is about a week's worth of work. This is about a week's worth of work. Creating the welcome videos, that can be done in a day. Creating the artwork, that's a couple of days. Setting up the break screen, that's about a day's worth of work. So I've got like maybe 2 months of work. Like from here, let's say from here up. All of this highlighted stuff that's about 2 months worth of work. At the pace that I'm getting stuff done. And the majority of this is getting done on the weekends and Wednesdays right now. The VTuber model stuff, we're looking at probably a couple of weeks for each of these to get them implemented. I don't even know how long to try to get like elemental effects implemented. And probably like a couple of days, we'll say a week, to get the whole side quest system fixed and implemented. Now for the side quest, the quest I'm going to build a website that is going to basically be what this Google Sheets document is right here, except dressed up a little bit, so you can see what quests are active and have like an easier way to vote on it, I guess. I don't know, but I am gonna have a place where you can see what the quests are, what quests have been completed, what things have been unlocked, what things are currently up for being unlocked, and what steps are hidden in the future, and what things they unlock. And it's how the phases work for the quest. I didn't explain this. Initially, when we get to a new quest, the only thing you're going to see is phase 1, which is typically only going to be one game. So, for example, with the final quest, we're going to have Final Fantasy the Pixel Remaster. Once we beat that, you're going to get a special unlock for Final Fantasy, which in the case of Final Fantasy is going to be one of the other versions of the game. And then we're going to get a special unlock for completing phase 1, which is going to be something for the community, like special artwork or background or something that I'm going to create for the community to have fun with, right? It's going to be an original creation by me that isn't anywhere else, for the community. So, and that's going to unlock from this, but then also completing phase 1 is going to unlock phase 2. Now, once you have a phase that has multiple items in it, these don't have to be completed in that order. We don't have to go to Final Fantasy 2. If the community wants to see Final Fantasy 6, we can complete that one first, and that'll get the FF6 unlock. But you won't get the phase unlock until you complete all of the quests in this phase, and you won't be able to move on to phase 3 until phase 2 is completed, right? So yeah, that's how I am thinking of doing the quest. How I'm dividing things up into the different phases, I've got a pretty good idea, but maybe subject to change. This is one thing I'm going to look into when I get like deep into the quest stuff. Now, the last thing I want to mention is the days off. Currently, I'm taking Wednesday off. I'm taking Saturday and Sunday off, both to rest and to get other things done without being interrupted. I have a lot of stuff that I do on Wednesday, so we try to schedule all of my, like, having to go places and doctor's appointments and things like that. We try to schedule all of that on Wednesday, so that like I have that day set aside. We can knock out all of that stuff. And my mom and I are both huge Survivor fans, so we watch Survivor on Wednesday nights. Thursday and Friday, I try to keep clean as much as I can, but sometimes a lot of things happen on these days, like yesterday. Saturday and Sunday, I take off so I can just to have like relaxing time, and I end up sleeping honestly a lot of time on the weekends. But then I also end up working at odd hours, like through the night, getting stuff done, like sorting my archive and renaming the songs and stuff like that. I'm not opposed to doing streams of me doing those activities and like chatting on Saturday and Sunday. I'm not opposed to it. But that would be when I'm implementing stuff like this and not when I'm sorting through the archives, in case I come across privileged information in the archive, which has happened a couple of times. Documents or programs or stuff that I probably shouldn't be broadcasting on a live stream that anybody can just roll up and watch. So sorting of the archive is not going to be something that appears on the live stream, because there's more than my material in there, and some of it is like privileged material that shouldn't be seen on stream. So I can't sort the archive on stream, but I can do all of this other fancy stuff on stream. And so once I get into that, Saturday and Sunday might be where these behind the scene channel streams end up going. Because I'm very eager to get back into gaming content, but I need to get this stuff done first so that I don't have to like stop. And this stuff here is stuff that's been needing to be done for a long time, getting the layout, everything set up, getting Sammy in the stream deck set up. I need these things done before I can get back into doing some game stuff. Things like the VTuber models and the AI assistant person. That can be done on these weekend streams later on. It's not something that has to be done right now. I'm focusing a large part of my off-stream efforts currently into sorting through the archive and getting the backlog built, because a lot of this other stuff is dependent on that stuff being built. And like I need to get these built, but this is dependent on these being built. And these being built is dependent on me getting that archive sorted as quickly as possible. So yeah, I've got things to do, many things to do. I'm also looking into the idea of merch in a couple of different ways. I've got plans to release some like we call them no content books on Amazon that tie in to the channel, and these are like puzzle books, like Sudoku books or word search books or like word puzzle books, notebooks, things like that. Books that are basically no content, like no real content, that you can put editions out on. And it's an easy to publish for market, and it's a self-published market, and it's a really saturated market. So it's not something where you're going to make like a whole lot of money, but if you get your little books in front of like certain people and they like it, they'll probably buy more books in your like series of books. And creating these books is literally just the push of a button. Create new book, done. Create new book, done. Create new book, done. Right? Because I'm like, for a Sudoku book, I'm generating a bunch of Sudoku puzzles, plopping them onto pages that I've already formatted, and then putting all the solutions at the end of the book, and making like a 130, 150 page book, paperback book, piece of cake. And you can tie it through Amazon. Amazon has a program where you can upload the PDF of your book, and they'll put it up on Amazon, and they'll handle like the marketing for the book as long as you put the keywords and stuff in properly. And then you they'll handle printing and shipping of the book, and you split the profits between you and Amazon. And doing that is basically free. They limit how many books that you can put out to like so and so many, like a month. So yeah, it's always good to have multiple income streams, and a lot of the multiple streams that you're going to have income-wise are going to be very small, like this one. But I am looking to get this going as well. So this is something else that I've been doing while I've been doing like the archive sorting. When the archive sorting gets too mind-numbing, I switch over and start working on the no content books. Yeah. So I'm not going to be pushing this in the live stream. There may be like a thing up above me in that thing that says, "Hey, I make a puzzle book, go buy it," right? But it's not going to be like me having like a 2-minute conversation about why you should buy my puzzle books. No, they're going to exist. There'll be like a picture of them in the link in the doobly-doo down below on YouTube, and Twitch in the thing. It might pop up in like one of the little advertising slots here in the layout temporarily. The books themselves are going to have more advertising because it's going to have my character all over the book. And on the back, it's going to have a link. Hey, come check out the live stream if you like the books. And then maybe I'll have people who like my puzzle books come watch me get blown up in a video game. Yes. I am assuming that explosions are going to happen in games in the future, because I know I have at least one more Tomb Raider game that will probably blow me up, and I have a Horizon Forbidden West that I haven't played yet, and I'm probably going to get blown up there too. Explosions are going to happen. So yeah, that's what I'm doing. That's the plans. I guess I can go ahead and put it right here. Nari puzzle books. And there is something else. Fourth Wall merch. I've been working with Fourth Wall. Okay. So that might be coming at some point in the future. I don't know. I have this is distant down on the list. That's why it's last. So yeah, that's basically where I'm at with the channel. The state of the channel, you could say. Yeah. But that is also going to be the stream for today. Not a very long stream today because I'm a little bit under the weather. My throat is a little scratchy. I don't know if you could tell. Um, I was late to the stream because I overslept like 3 times. It's been one of the days where I woke up like, okay, got a stream, and then I rolled over to get out of bed, and then I fell asleep again. And then I woke up and I'm like, oh, sorry, I'm gonna be a little late on the stream, and then I fell asleep again. And then I woke up and I'm like, oh, I didn't send the message on Discord, so I sent it, and then between sending the message and putting the phone on my nightstand, I fell asleep again. I'm like, yeah, I'm like super crazy tired today. Super crazy tired. Let's go here. I want to... Is the ad in progress? Oh no, the ad is in progress. So yeah, that's gonna be it for the stream for today. Let's see if there's somebody we can raid. Okay, it's only showing 1 viewer, so I guess we don't really have enough to do a raid, which is okay. That's okay. I will be back on Monday with more multiplayer. We're going to be playing more Played Up on Monday night. There may be an afternoon stream on Monday before the multiplayer. Not sure. Keep your eyes peeled. Pay attention in Discord. I will catch you guys on the flip side. Nari out.